Welcome back to IntyCenter 1957, still lacking John Montgomery Ward. We're very sad about this, but we're moving on because, let me tell you, Josh Johnson and every city bandwagoners were cruising up until the seventh inning with a 3-0 lead. But in the bottom of the seventh, Amazings tied it up on an RBI single from Ty Cobb, an RBI double from Wee Willie Keeler, and a sac fly from Dan Bruthers. In the eighth, Keeler would strike again. He'd get a 2-out RBI single to put Amazings ahead 4-3. Blow the trumpets because Edwin Diaz would work around a leadoff single from Bryce Harper, and that would nail down the win for Amazings. Heavy Johnson hit a 2-run homer in the first off Walter Johnson. I know he wasn't supposed to start, but those were the only runs allowed by Johnson, who would give up just 4 hits. He'd take the loss because Matt Harvey tossed a 5-hit shutout with 8 strikeouts. A day after being on the losing end of a 4-0 loss, performance enhancers flipped the script on the Demon Bags with a vintage performance from old Hoss Radbourne. Hoss went the distance. He scatters 7 hits. He strikes out 3. Larry Walker hits a solo homer. Mike Schmidt hits a pair of solo homers in that win. Let's Play 2 had a 4-3 lead entering the 9th inning, but Pete Browning hit a leadoff homer to tie it at 4 and send us to extra innings. In the top of the 10th, a leadoff walk to Mickey Cochrane and a pair of 2-out singles from Luke Appling and Browning got a run in for a shack of their own. Howie Paulette, he works a 1-2-3 bottom of the 10th, and that nails down the win for the Big Dieselers. Christy Mathewson was dominant in the final game of the Zodiac Guardians Gales of November series. He went 8 innings, blanking the Guards on 5 hits. Joe Nathan worked a scoreless 9th, and home runs from Ron Santo and Richie Ashburn saw the Gales of November take this one 4-0. And let's be honest, this might be one Cynthia Vost and Ard come to regret. Up 4-2 after an RBI single from Johnny Mize in the bottom of the 6th, a solo homer from Yul Suttle in the 7th, and an RBI single from the defending MVP, Archie Vaughn, in the 8th, tied that game at 4. That took us to the 9th, where a Robbie Alomar single combined with a throwing error put him on second base. Sithy would intentionally walk Buck Leonard. Ernie Lombardi would single to score Alomar. Sithy would go down in order in the 9th, and that was that. It's a 5-4 loss that I'm sure they're going to stew over. Hey, Francisco Lindor woke up for the opener against Zodiac Guardians, and so did his bat. Lindor hit a pair of homers and drove in 4 runs. David Wright also hit 2 homers, and Larry Walker and Chuck Klein each homered as the enhancers hammered the Zodiac Guardians 13-3. And somewhere Heels is like, Inty, it's been 7 years. You can move on from Francisco Lindor. Well, all I got to say to that is, elsewhere, Noodles Hahn and the Demon Bags were up 3-0 on Stone Temple Seattle Pilots heading into the 7th. But a 2-run homer from Bill Terry and an RBI single from Joe Kelly tied the game, and we end up going to extra innings. In the 10th, it was a leadoff homer from Joe Kelly and Thor relieving with a runner on first to retire Dave Parker, Ken Griffey Jr., and Ketel Marte, and that gets the win for the Pilots. The Family Madrigal got 3 singles to open the 8th inning against Every City Bandwagoners with a pinch hit, Tris Speaker's single being the 3rd and driving in a run. After Eric Gagne relieved, a walk to Joe DiMaggio loaded the bases, and a Frankie Frisch single brought in another run to bring Madrigal to within 5-4. But Lou Boudreau would fly out, and Roger Bresnahan would hit into a double play, squandering a great chance to tie the game or maybe even take the lead. In the 9th, Madrigal again threatened. They get 2 singles to open the inning, and they load the bases with 1 out. But Speaker grounds out with a lead runner retired at home, and DiMaggio flies out. The Bandwagoners hang on like Sloopy. They get that 5-4 win. Cynthia Vost and Ard got whooped in every way possible in their second game against Let's Play 2. Roger Clemens tossed a 4-hit shutout. Louis Tiant got knocked out in the 4th inning. Frank Thomas, Ernie Banks, and Hank Aaron each homered, with Thomas putting 5 ribbies on the board. That puts a big hurt on Sithy, and LPT take this one 14-0. Mookie Betts had a solo homer in the 1st. George Brett had an RBI triple in the 3rd. And those were the only runs in the much anticipated and living up to the hype Pedro Martinez Sandy Koufax duel, as Pedro outduels Koufax and the Pilots take it 2-0. And we'll start with the epic collapse that I put in the thread, where the Gales in November were leading 8-1 heading into the bottom of the 8th inning. The bottom of the 8th inning, though, went like this: walk, double, single, double, single, triple. Pitching change, bringing in Shane Bieber. Strikeout, single, flyout, double, single, flyout. That resulted in 8 runs coming in and a 9-8 for Game of Throws. Emmanuel Clase relieves with a tying run on base and 2 outs in the 9th. He retires Hall of Famer Rod Carew. He ends the game, and the Kings of the North get the improbable 9-8 win, and just another in a season of what the hells for the Gales of November. That's going to do it this time for IntyCenter. We'll catch you next time, where I'll still be hating the Marlins. I'll still be missing John Montgomery Ward, but we'll do another whip around. Fadus.